Okay folks, so today we're back on part 3 of our OnShape compass project, and we're looking at the roller, so the compass roller part 3. So I have my document open here on one tab, and on another tab I have my workspace. Okay, so straight away what I'm going to do is I'm going to rename this compass roller, and I'm going to start here with step 1. So on the top plane, sketch a radius 6mm circle using the origin as the center point, then extrude that circle by 1.3mm to create a cylindrical shape. So we're trying to create this shape. Radius 6mm, extruded by 1.3mm. So looking straight down onto the top plane, I'm going to sketch a circle. Okay, and I'm going to dimension that so that the diameter is 12. So remember, the radius was 6, that makes the diameter 12. Green tick once we're finished that sketch, and we're extruding that now by 1.3 mil. Okay, so that will get us a nice shape here like this, so a small cylindrical shape. Step 2, sketch this shape onto the top plane. Okay, so it says top plane, it should really say top surface there. Okay, so we're sketching this onto the top surface. Okay, so we see that it is two lines. One is 0.5, the other is 0.5, and the angle between the two of them is 90 degrees. So I'm looking down the top plane, and I'm going to go sketch. I'm sketching onto this top surface here. Grabbing my line and just going to draw a shape roughly like this here. Okay, up to dimension, and I'm going to dimension this one to be 0.5 mil, and dimension this line to be 0.5 mil as well. Okay, so one line is 0.5, the other is 0.5. The last thing I need to dimension here is a 90 degree angle between the two. Okay, and just remember then that I used this center line as being on this point as well. So this point is on that center line. Okay, once that's finished now, we can green tick. Okay, so we've made that sketch now. Part 3, select extrude, remove. Faces and sketch regions to extrude will be the surface inside the sketch we drew in step number 2, this one here. And the end type will be a blind distance of 1mm. So I need to go to extrude now, and extrude usually adds surfaces. Okay, so if I click on this surface here, it will try to add a surface. We don't want to add, we want to remove, and we only want to remove 1mm. So make sure it's blind and 1mm. Green tick once that's finished, and we can see we're after taking a cut section out of that. Okay, back to our guide, and down here now to step 4. So select circular pattern. Select feature pattern, very important, so you're selecting feature pattern. The featured pattern will be the extrude remove created in step 3, this remove that we made. The axis of pattern will be the circumference of the cylinder created in step 1. Okay, the instance count is going to be 52. Okay, so there's a few things going on there. Select equal spacing. So I'm going to start by showing you where circular pattern is. So we have linear pattern, and if we go to drop down, we're going to find circular pattern. Now, very important that the first thing it says is that you're part patterning. I don't want part pattern, I want feature pattern. Features to pattern would be this cut here. So extrude 2 in my case. So choose that from the design tree. And the axis of pattern is the circumference of this shape. And straight away now we're after getting 4 cuts onto that circumference. I actually want 52 cuts. When I hit enter, I'll see that I get 52 cuts all the way along, equally spaced. So make sure equal spacing is selected. If it's not, it won't work. So equal spacing. Green tick once you're finished. So we have a nice looking shape here now so far, and we're going to see it starting to come together in the next couple of steps. So step 5 then is to select mirror. Select mirror part. Entities to mirror will be the compass roller. The mirror plane will be the bottom face of the shape as shown. So not the face with the spikes along the edge, the flat face on the bottom. Okay, so going up here to mirror, here it is, and we're choosing part mirror. Okay, so you could also choose feature mirror, but we want part mirror. Entities to mirror is this whole part, and the mirror plane is going to be not the top surface as we said, the bottom surface. And we see that that just flips that surface across. Green tick. Okay, so again, we're just starting to see that shape come together now. Okay, back here now again. Step 6. Look normal to top plane. Draw a circle of radius 1 mm at the center of the shape. Select extrude and extrude the circle a distance of 25 mm. So I'm going normal to the top, and I'm going to sketch. I'm sketching onto this top plane here. Okay, what I'm going to sketch in is a circle, and that circle is going to have a diameter of 2 or a radius of 1. Green tick once we're finished sketching, and it also says that we want to extrude this by 25 mm. Now it gives me 25 mm by default, so I'm just going to click there. So we get this shape down here with a long cylindrical shape coming out of it. Okay, so that's that part done. Back to our guide and moving on to step 7. In the drop down menu next to plane, select helix. So the icon is shown, it's this one here, helix. Select the cylinder created in step 6. This will be the conical or cylindrical face. So conical or cylindrical face is going to be that extrude that we made here. Click on the turn drop down menu and change it to pitch. So we'll see that now in a second. The pitch should be clockwise with a helical pitch of 1 mm. Start angle should be 0 and it should remain 0. So it's already at 0, it should remain at 0. Okay, so a few things going on there. We want to make a plane on this cylindrical shape, and we want that plane to be a helix. So clicking on plane, drop down menu, and picking helix. And first thing it's asking is conical or cylindrical face. So again, that's this extrude. And we see now that we've got a windy kind of shape going up there now. That's exactly what we're looking for. Turns should be instead pitch. Clockwise should be the handedness. Helical pitch should be 1 mm. And the degrees should be 0. And we see now we get a much tighter twists going around this cylindrical face. Green tick once we've finished that. Okay, so that's our helix now, and we'll be using that quite a few times now in this project, so try to get the hang of making a helix plane. Step number 8. Select normal to the front plane. Zoom in on the bottom of the shape. On the front plane, sketch this rectangle. So we see we have a 0.2 by 0.5 and it's 0.3 off the top. Okay, so we have our shape. We're going looking in at the front plane. Okay, and I'm going to hide all the rest of the planes apart from the front plane. So just hide that for a second and hide that for a second. So we're looking straight at the front plane. And just make sure that's the one they're asking us to look at. Yeah. Okay, we're going all the way now up to the top of the shape, and we're looking for the last line of the helix, which is just here. Okay, so see where that last line cuts the edge here. We're going to try to draw a rectangle there. So I'm going to go to sketch. I'm sketching onto the front plane, and what I'm sketching is a corner rectangle. I'm just going to sketch it here like this. Okay, so at the moment that's just sitting there, and that needs to be 3 down from the top, 0.5 tall and 0.2 wide. So get my dimension tool, from here to here is going to be 0.3 as discussed. This is going to be 0.5, and this dimension here is going to be 0.2. Okay, the last thing now we want to do is we want to leave that dimension, and we can see that we can move this shape now in and out like this. Okay, what we actually want to do now is fix this edge onto the helix. Okay, so there's a tool for that. So this edge here, we want to fix it to the helix. So we want the rectangle to be inside the shape. Don't fix this edge to the helix, because the rectangle then will be moved outside the shape. So we need the rectangle to be inside the shape, so this edge is going to be fixed to the helix. To do that, we have this relations menu. Okay, so click down on the relations menu, and we want to make a relation between this edge here and this edge here, and that is that they're both connected. So pierce is the relation we need to use. So click on pierce, and we're clicking this edge here and the helix, and see how it gets dragged over there. So that's what we're looking for, it to be dragged over, and again that shape now turns black, which means it's defined, and OnShape knows exactly where that's meant to be. Green tick once we're finished that. Okay, so I'm actually after doing step 9 there as well by an accident, so. Okay, step 10. Select sweep. Sweep, remove. Faces and sketch regions to sweep will be the sketch created in step 8 and 9. Sweep path will be the helix, green ticks once complete. Okay, so now we want to go to this feature here, sweep. And first thing it's saying is that we don't want to add, we don't want new, we want to remove. Faces and sketch regions to sweep. Okay, that is this sketch here that we made. So click that. Sometimes it does let you just grab it like this, but you might have to go into the design tree to get it as well. Sweep path is the helix, and green tick once we're finished. And we see now that we get a really nice thread looking shape. Okay, and to get an even better view of that, we should hide the curve. So hide the helix, and we see now we get a nice helix curve with a cut taken out of it to make a nice thread looking shape. Okay, chamfer the end of the extrude with a 0.5mm distance. So that's pretty easy to cut to chamfer tool. Pick this top edge, and it just needs to be 0.5. And if you ever look at a bolt, you're always going to see a chamfered edge at the top. Just honed down like that. Okay, perfect. So that is now our thread on one side complete. Step 12, select mirror, select feature mirror. Features to mirror will be the extrude from step 6, the helix, the sketch, the sweep from step 10, and the chamfer from step 11. So we're actually just going to mirror all of this work that we've done here across the top plane. Okay, so we're going to flip it over to this side. So to do that now, we're going to go up here to mirror, and instead of part mirror now this time we're going to pick in feature mirror, and the features to mirror are going to be, click here, the chamfer, the sweep, the sketch, the helix, the extrude, and the sketch as well. Okay, so everything is going to be mirrored across. Just make sure that that sketch is in as well. Mirror plane is going to be the top plane. And we see now that we get that thread flipped across here. Okay. I'm actually going to go back into that mirror because I'm not all that sure that that sketch needs to be brought across. So I'm just going to unselect that. and yeah, that looks better because the sketch was appearing here and I didn't want it to appear there. Okay, so that's that roller there now, nearly complete. Step 12 is complete, and step 13, if I did have one in there, would be just to edit the appearances there. So go to Appearance panel, and part 1 is going to be a silver, shade of silver, green. Okay, you can also add appearances here. Faces or features to pattern. I'm going to pattern this extrude here, the circular pattern, and the first mirror. And I'm going to have them as a darker grey colour. Green tick, and we see now that some of my shape is a darker colour and some of it is a shinier metal colour. Okay, last thing I like to do there just before I finish is hide the planes, hide the origin, and hide all my curves, so no helix curves left. Also going to right click on this part, and I'm going to rename that part as well. I'm just going to call it Compass Roller. Okay, so we can leave that document now once we're finished, or we can start a new part. And I hope you found that video helpful. Let me know if you have any questions on that.